I tried over 10 different ND filters, and this was the best ND filter that money can buy. Obviously, with the Polar Pro Peter McKinnon series, which are great ND filters, you want something that maybe is a little bit more budget friendly. The ND filter by Freewell. It was actually passed on to me by another videographer as I was just getting into videography. I honestly didn't even realize that I needed an ND filter to go shoot outside. Obviously a very rookie mistake, but I learned very quickly that you have to have an ND filter if you want to shoot outside, especially during the daylight. I don't think there's probably any scenario where maybe if it's really cloudy that you wouldn't need one, but I would still just make sure that you always have one of these. The reason that you need them is, like everyone says, they are sunglasses for your camera lens. So instead of being super exposed to the light, it offers a cover of shade for the light coming into your camera. So when you look at a ND filter, they're obviously very expensive. You can get some for $30, $40, or you can also invest in the Peter McKinnon series, which is going to run you upwards of $250. So you can spend a lot or you can spend pretty little. I would recommend spend a little money to get in. I would recommend spending a little bit of money to make sure that you have an ND filter that's going to last and do a good job. A lot of times people worry about banding, especially with some of the ND filters and the camera. I would say it worries more about the camera and what you're shooting with rather than the ND filter, but the cheaper ones just didn't seem to do a great job, especially on the corners. You'd get that weird kind of vignette on the corners, and whereas when you spend a little bit more money, you're never going to have that kind of an issue. So you obviously have to spend a little bit money to make sure that you're not going to run into those issues. I think I bought this series, which was actually a 2-pack for, I believe it was like $180. So you're obviously spending a little bit of money, but they're really high quality, great made. They're really high quality. I really have enjoyed using them. I use them on both my camera lenses. So the different threads I have on my 24-70 and then my 14-35. So I've really enjoyed using them. They do a great job. And I think if you're a photographer, make sure you spend a little bit of money to ensure that you have a good ND filter that's going to last a while. It's not going to run into any issues, because the one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to buy all these cheaper ND filters and then they don't really work. So now you're spending more money. Obviously the Polar Pro edition are probably top of the line, but I think the Freewell edition are just as good, and they're definitely a lot cheaper.